Hello and welcome to the BAM podcast, aka Black Atlantic Musicians. My name's Clinton Davis. I've been in music most of my life. And before we get into the show, this podcast is called Black Atlantic Musicians. And while I do not recommend that anyone listen to music solely based on the color of one person's skin, if you are looking for information about underrepresented Black Atlantic musicians, you've come to the right place. This episode, I'm talking to a very interesting man named Toyin, aka Boy T. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Amazing, amazing. Happy to hear. So, you are an artist that makes music. You have other disciplinaries as well.
Yeah.
But how would you describe your musical style to someone who has never heard your music before?
To someone who never heard my music, I would say that my music is based on R&B, I would say, mostly. So you have a little bit of R&B in my music all the time, but I gravitated all those, subgenres and stuff around it. And I also add other type of genre on it. It's kind of like a fusion at the same time. So you have R&B and around it, hip hop, dancers and all those stuff.
And why do you make music?
I make music because, first of all, it's my way to be free. I even remember when I moved to Canada in 2014. As any immigrant, you have those moments where you have a little depression because you leave your hometown or your country and you get to a country where you have no friend mostly. You keep working, you come back home, there's nothing else to do, so it's crazy. So music came back to my life at that moment in Canada. So that's why I kept going, because I remember that, I like rap. So why don't I just keep doing this? So when I start doing it, it freed me completely from depression, from everything else. So I was like free in my mind, was able to do anything I want. Yeah.
That's amazing. We hear so often about how music saves people's lives, how it's even hip hop, rap music. So it brought you comfort in times of depression.
Exactly.
You left everything you knew. You left your family, your home, your
Exactly.
friends, your surroundings, even just the people you're used to seeing.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it was that beacon of hope for you. Amazing.
Mhm.
Amazing. Tell me more about your music. Tell me more about your musical journey. How did it all begin for you? Did you do music back home? And if you want to tell people where you're from, you can.
Yeah, sure. I can. So I'm from West Africa, Benin. I started music at the age of 16, let's say, like properly. In Africa, there's like all those type of music that you around all the time. Your grandma is singing, your aunt is singing something. You go out and you have like another type of music that, another culture kind of like singing, and you get used to all those stuff, and you get used to dancing like rhythm. So that started bit by bit there. And I remember at some parties, my uncles would be like, Toyin, come and dance with me. And I'll be dancing. I'll be like, man, this boy can dance. So I was like, challenging them sometimes. And gradually, at the age of 16, I would say that I noticed that I was in love with hip hop and rap, because, it was a new thing. And thankfully, like my dad has TV for us, and we were watching TV, and I could see like hip hop, way, and all those, Big, Tupac, Shakur, like at that moment. Then I fell in love with rap music, and I decided to kind of like perform on rap music in high school. That's where it started getting to me, like bit by bit. And by the age of 19, I decided to write my own music, because I was like, what would it sound like if I came up with my own everything, from the beat to what I write, and what would that look like? So yeah, that's how I started.
Wow, so family influence of hip hop in the 90s from TV and dancing and just the culture.
Totally.
Amazing. So we're in Atlantic Canada. Actually, before I ask you that, how much of your life do you get to dedicate to music?
Oh my God, a lot.
Amazing.
A lot, yeah. I think it's even more than my full-time job.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, tell us about the process.
So like let me take like a day, okay? In a day, I work like full-time job, so 8 hours. And then after that, I work like another practically 9 hours on music, because I will start early before my work because I work from home, right? I'm an instructor, a French
Okay.
instructor. So um, before starting my day with my full-time job, I will already start writing because I love writing in the morning because my mind is fresh and everything is clearer. And also I like to make sure my words are well selected. So that's a thing that I do in the morning. And then in my break time and stuff like that, I will be still working through music. And after that, I will get back to it, at the end of my shift. And sometimes if I get very inspired, I will keep going till midnight, 2 a.m. It's crazy.
Right.
It's crazy. And sometimes when the music is good, everything is going well. When it's flowing, oh my God, you can't stop me.
I think I already know the answer to this just by looking at your face while you talk about music. But
Mhm.
does it bring you that same joy and excitement and passion that it did when you started
Oh, yes,
between 16 and 19?
it is.
Amazing. You're also multidisciplinary. I think I alluded to that at the beginning.
Mhm.
Tell the people quickly what else you do in the arts and media.
I draw sometimes, like when I want to like free my mind, and when you're drawing, you're lost in what you're doing. And also, I make videos.
Mhm.
I make videos and my own videos for like my music videos, for example. Hopefully, I have like my partner who's a photographer, and I could
Oh,
teach
really?
her a little bit of videography. So with
Okay.
that, she was able to like everything you will see on my, for example, on my YouTube, she videoed it and I edited them. So I do the editing too, and also weddings for people. So
Okay.
yeah, I do a lot of videography
So
things.
you are busy.
Super busy.
Yeah, I know that you are a very talented videographer.
Thank
I've
you.
seen your work before,
Thanks.
and yeah, you're really killing it there.
Thank you, man.
All right, so you write a lot of music.
Mhm.
What was the most difficult song you ever wrote, and why? Why was it difficult?
Yes, I think the most difficult song I wrote is Stories. Stories is if you listen to it, is like completely different from what I used to do or what I'm doing now. Because Stories is kind of like practically acoustic, and I don't play guitar, I don't play anything. So my beat maker, who's my brother also, yeah, I told him, okay, I would like to do something different. Because sometimes I have melodies where um that doesn't need beats or something, but I need something cool and calm. Because through what I would like to do, I would like to tell a story. And he didn't even know that I was about to talk about our story. Because I was telling about like in that song, I'm telling my story and talking about my family story. So it's like two stories together. How I overcome the struggles, how you know, all those kind of stuffs.
Absolutely. Okay.
It's heavy. It's heavy, and even if you listen to the words, you will notice it. I recently translated the whole song to French because some of my friend in
Smart.
yeah, in Benin, where I
Hmm.
come from, they heard it and they're like, "Oh, you need to do this in French because we would like to understand what you're talking about." Because from the first version, this is what happened. I started the song, the chorus of the song, in the morning in English. And by the end of the day, I end up mixing French and my native language, which is Yoruba. So in the song, you'll hear Yoruba, that is from Africa. And if you know Nigeria correctly, that's one of the language they use.
It's
Davido,
the
Burna
most
Boy,
primary.
they're all Yoruba.
Mhm.
So and you will hear that in the music. Sorry. So that is something that I added to it because I was like, maybe I need to put a little bit of, my culture in it because I'm talking about my story, my family story, which is something that can hit anyone because I keep it open. So when you listen to the song, you can see yourself through it. So that's why it's even difficult because I didn't want to say like, this is what happened to me, but I was talking about you in the song.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
through it.
So thinking to that song that way, like thinking on building the song or making it that way was a big challenge. So the beat first, which is something that's different, the words and how to tell the story, in order to suit anyone out there.
Wow, thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's usually those personal digging into our souls and
Yes.
talking about. some of the trials or possibly even
Mhm.
some pains, that can be really hard. What has been the most memorable moment in your music career so far?
I have two, and they both happen in Canada.
Okay.
So, Heartland, New Brunswick.
Mm-hmm.
I had one song written. It's called Lost. That's another one where I was talking about my like part of my story, and I decided to shoot that video, like the video of that music, in like an empty spot space where you feel the nature and like the sadness of So one day I noticed that the St. John River was like very low and almost even the water was gone at that in Heartland, New Brunswick. So we went there straight. Jennifer's like, "Oh, babe, we need to go there. It's pretty cool, and it's this song." And okay, let's go. So we went there with my brother. So we shot the whole thing in 3 hours and came back to Fredericton. It was a big struggle to shoot it because my boy was still one, so he was just crying and all that stuff. But we made it work. Anyway, when that sound or when that video came out, it was a blast at Heartland, and everyone who was in Heartland was sending to people in PEI who from Heartland, and they were reaching out to me. And Heartland people send messages, and they were like, "Man, you need to come back and have like a video done at the longest covered bridge."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, that's a good idea." And I remember perfectly a lady, she said, "The whole town will welcome you big time." And I'm like, "What? For real? Okay, let's try it." And I noticed that the mayor at that moment, Darren Foster, shout out to him, he noticed like, and he had a comment on the video. He's like, he put vivid or something. Anyway, like a good comment.
Yeah.
Then when I saw it, I'm like, okay, I'll reach out to him. So I sent him a message. He replied. He and he's like, and I told him, this is my idea. I received this request, but I would like to do something a little bit bigger. It's like a whole music to thank people for the love, love they brought to me, to the music, to Lost,
Yeah.
and to, at the same time, have something done for the whole city of Heartland. And he's like, I love that. I'm like, really? He's like, yes. So I said, this is what I always wanted to do in my life. Like have like police car in my video to try to, give another image, of that department.
Okay.
And I would like to have this and that and that and that. He's like, I think I can get you almost everything you're asking for. Guess what? We had like the firefighters department instead. So they were in the video. The whole town was there. Like everybody was there. Like
That's
everybody.
amazing.
It was like the amazing videography or like music video I ever shot in my life. Like
Wow.
everybody was in there. Like my God, it was just great. Even the golf courts of Heartland, they're like, yeah, you can use it. Then they gave us card and we went everywhere, man.
That's an amazing
So
story.
yeah, I love that support. So when I wrote From Love and I made that video and we came out with this, yeah, that's
Cool.
my most interesting, like, yeah,
That's an amazing
most
story. I really like that.
I think.
It sounds like you were trying to do a positive spin
Yeah,
on the police forces and
exactly,
emergency services and such like that.
exactly.
And did you mention your brother was a beat
Yes,
maker? Does he
yes.
make most of your music?
Most of the
I had
music.
no idea.
No,
What's
most
his
of the
name?
music.
You gotta shout him out.
Yeah, Big Sa, Big Sa.
Big Sa?
Yeah, shout out to Big Sa.
All right, that reminds me of an artist named Toby. Like
Yeah.
his I think it's his cousin or brother that makes the beats, and his
Oh,
wife is in every music video, and she
wow,
raps in most of the songs and stuff like that.
wow.
Keeping it in the family.
Yes,
And speaking of family, it sounds like you still have a lot of connections back in Benin.
yes.
So what's the support like over there for your music?
Oh, big support, especially for my family,
Hmm.
my mom and everyone in my family. Yeah, it's a big support. Especially when I write songs that connect both Canada and Africa,
Yes.
and when they find themselves in it, they're like, "Man, I love when you put our language in the music," and that goes even like better.
And is it, you said it was Yoruba?
Yoruba, yes,
Yoruba? Okay.
Yoruba.
So as we all know, we are out here in Atlantic Canada,
Mhm.
and I know that music is globally, and as we just indicated, you can have support and fans from everywhere, even without being signed to a major label. But in your opinion, do you think a Black artist can make it? And I
Yeah,
do you identify as Black? That might sound like a weird question to
I
some,
understand. Yeah,
but so you might identify as Benin and not Black. But
yeah, I understand. No, I get
okay,
your question.
do you think a Black artist can make it here in Atlantic Canada?
I think yes, but I think it won't be easy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I can say. Like I think Black can make it in Atlantic Canada. It won't be easy, and that's my honest opinion. You know,
Fair,
just yeah.
fair.
The reason I'm saying that is because I even like that I had like a concert at the Fredericton High School.
Yep.
And that's one of my good experience too, in
Yeah.
music. So, and that concert, like at the end of it, I was supposed to have like questions from the students. So they asked me questions, and they were asking me the same question. And they also asked me, what do you
Okay.
think that your music will look like in New Brunswick, knowing that we love folk music and country.
Yep.
So I told them, I think that every time I walk in the street here, almost everyone have rap music, hip hop music, dancehall music
Mm-hmm.
playing in the car. So that means that there's a potential, right? There's a big potential for like to grow in Atlantic. It might be hard because regarding management or whatever it will be. I really don't know
Yep.
past that, but we do have like a chance to make it work here.
Have you faced any major challenges that you feel as is a result? Now, it's hard for a musician to make it anywhere in the
Yes,
world, right?
yes,
There's hundreds of millions of
yes.
musicians. Have you have you found that you felt any Atlantic Canada specific challenges or barriers to getting your music out there?
Oh yes. I remember one of my friend, I won't his name, but
For sure.
he's a good friend of mine. Like, and he has a lot of connections, and like he even tried to help me.
Yeah.
And he knows like a lot of radios in at least in New Brunswick. And I remember him telling me, send me everything you have because I love your music. Like I'm not rap, but the way you're doing your stuff, hip hop, R&B and everything, I like it. So what I would like is to send your music to my friends in connection in radios so they can play your music. Never work, man.
You know, I did a podcast with my partner Hillary
Hmm.
for Black Atlantic just recently, and we
Yeah.
interviewed some other Canadian artists.
Yeah.
And they said all across Canada that's one of the biggest challenges in the Canadian music industry right now is there's no representation in radio that really understands the culture of this music, what's
Hmm.
good music and what's bad music,
Yeah.
and so for the most part they just shy away from playing it.
Yeah.
So that's very reflective
That's
of
sad.
what
That's
we're
sad
hearing.
though. And it's that documentary. I don't know if you saw it. Drop the Nindo.
Dropping the Needle, the Toronto one about the record store. I
Yeah.
keep seeing clips from it, but I haven't seen the whole one
Yeah,
yet.
if you if you get a chance to watch it, you
Yeah.
will see like they talked about the same thing at
I
the
used
end
to go
of
to
it.
Sam the Record Man, not Sam the Record Man, Play the Record.
Play the record,
Play the
yeah,
record
play
a
the record,
lot when I
yeah,
was a
yeah.
kid on Yonge Street growing up in Toronto, but I haven't seen it. And so they discussed that.
Yeah, they talked about it. It's like, oh man, when we were blowing, like we thought, that we're gonna be signed or something gonna happen, but it wasn't happening. Also,
Yeah, the Canadian music industry. I mean, we had
yeah,
Maestro and then nothing. And then we had Circle Crew, like Choclair,
exactly.
Socrates,
Yeah,
Criminal Official, and then nothing. And then Drake, and then couple artists had more exposure because of Drake and The Weeknd,
yeah,
but still, I mean, the music
yeah,
industry hasn't opened up in Canada for,
yeah.
for people of color like ours.
And it looks like they mostly need to go out of Canada.
Yep.
It's
That's
it's
from
a
the
sad
90s.
story,
Everyone
man.
said that if you want to be successful in Canada, you got to go and get accepted in the States first,
Exactly.
and then probably stay in the States or come back to Canada
Yeah.
afterwards.
Hmm.
So we're going to play a music video of your choice to end off the podcast in a minute. But one question for the gearheads,
Sure.
like describe your music setup. Like what's your equipment do you use? What programs do you
Hmm.
use? You do the audio recording and your brother
Yes,
makes the beats. Yeah, what's your favorite DAW? What's your favorite what kind of gear? If you have any gears, maybe
it's my
maybe record it.
microphone.
Yeah, what kind of microphone do you have?
I have the Rode and
Rode?
NTK. It's a powerful microphone.
Yeah.
It's an like I won't say it's an old one, but it's a powerful microphone, and I love the way it brings my voice out into the system. So yeah,
Is it the NTK2 or the one or the
the
A?
one.
Yeah, okay, yeah, amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing. Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
yeah.
So we're gonna play one of your music videos, and being a videographer, we know you have great quality ones. And do you want to
Thanks.
introduce it? Like, what music video do you want us to play for you?
Um, I think the one that I started with here in Fredericton, Peut-être sur Mars. Yeah.
Tell us about it. 20 seconds.
Peut-être sur Mars. Peut-être sur Mars, I wrote it because one of my friends during COVID asked me to write a song regarding the crisis. So
Wow.
I was like, yeah, I'm feeling like going on Mars because it's too much. There was like a lot of noise at that moment,
Yeah.
during COVID. So I told him, because I'm French, I told him, peut-être que j'aimerais bien aller sur Mars parce que je suis fatigué de tout ce qui se passe. And then I wrote the song Peut-être sur Mars.
I don't know what that means.
I mean, I maybe won't go on Mars because I'm kind of like tired of everything going on with all those news about COVID.
Yeah.
So then I decided to write the song Peut-être sur Mars, and the title is Peut-être sur Mars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's play that.
Yeah. It's your man. Je vois encore des anges se lever pour nous. Je marche dans les pas qu'ils ont tous tracés pour nous. En attendant que le périple qu'on vit s'éloigne à petits pas de nous. Je vois encore des anges se lever pour nous. Je marche dans les pas qu'ils ont tous tracés pour nous. À chaque pas je fais, j'entends une voix qui me dit clairement que c'est le moment. Alors qui est prêt à le voir? Je veux bien le voir. La lueur d'espoir qu'on m'a dit sur Mars, qui serait là pour le voir. Je veux bien le voir. La lueur d'espoir avant d'aller sur Mars.
We're back. That was incredible. Actually, we only played a part of the video, because if you want to see the full video, please go over to Boy T's YouTube channel, and here's the part where he's going to shout out all of his socials. Yeah, so for the full video, go over there. We want you to have to go over there to see it. But yeah, so how can people find you, follow you, and support you?
It's easy. I'm getting more reference on Google now. So if they type Boy T, if they want, they can add Boy T Fredericton or Heartland. They'll find me directly from YouTube. From Google,
Yeah.
and then Google will list everything, right? IG, Facebook, so Spotify. But if you type Boy T on any platform, any streaming, you'll find me for sure.
Amazing. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking
Thanks
the
to
time for
you.
this interview.
Thanks to you guys.
This is BAM, Black Atlantic Musicians. Go check out Boy T. I'm Clinton Davis, and we out.
Cheers. Thank you, man. I hope you went well.
I think so.
Well, you